Today, I want to talk about a database 12c release 2 new feature called data bound collation. So what's this about? Well, there has been demand for many years for easing the process of making Oracle appear to be case insensitive. One reason for this may be that sqlServer has always made this easy. Consider this example. Create table names, one column, varchar2, 20 bytes long. And I'll insert some rows into it. Insert into names values Mackay. And that's the name Mackay spelt the way a Scottish person would spell it. Uppercase for the Mac, uppercase for the K of Kai. Then we'll insert another row, which is the way a lot of software would actually do it. The lead in capital and the rest in lowercase. And finally, we'll have an uppercase version of the name. Run some queries. Select from names, where name equals Mackay spelt the Scottish way. Back comes that row. Where it has the initial capital, back comes that row. And finally, in uppercase, we get that row. Now, I am told by sqlServer people that in sqlServer, with the default collation, these three queries would all have returned all three rows, case insensitive. In Oracle, those queries do not. Now, I don't want to get into a discussion of which product, Oracle or sqlServer, is superior, but I do want to show how Oracle can be made to act in a case insensitive manner, which may make life a lot easier for people used to working in a sqlServer environment. It has in fact always been possible, like this. Alter session set unless sort equals generic base letter. And secondly, set my comparison semantics to ANSI. And now if I run this query, back come three rows. Same for this one. And the first one as well. So making those changes, my session now appears to be acting in a case-insensitive manner. However, while this may work, your users and developers may find it somewhat awkward. You may need to give some thought towards indexing and unique key constraints as well. Database release 12.2 introduces data bound collation. This facility lets you declare character comparison rules for columns, tables, or schemas. This means that one can create a truly case-insensitive database. The collation to be used for comparing or matching a given character value is stored as an attribute of the data type. When the column value is passed to a collation-sensitive SQL operation, the operation will be informed by the database of the collation to use. So no possible problems with a developer not setting NLS variables appropriately. It is a declarative technique. And like all DBAs, I love declarative techniques. The DBA can do it all, the programmers just use it. The enabling technology is based on extended strings. So that must be enabled first. And in this database, just check the parameter. Max string size is set to extended. I've already enabled that facility. Now, I'll create a new schema. Specifying case insensitivity. Create user JW, identified by JW, default collation, binary CI. CI for case insensitive. This is documented in DBA users and the associated views. There you see in all users the column default collation. And query it just to confirm it. Binary case insensitive. Now I'll give JW some privileges, grant him DBA, connect as him, and run the example I used earlier. Create the table, name varchar 220. No fancy syntax at all. Normal logon, just create the table. Insert my 3 variations on the name Mackay, Scottish spelling, leading capital, all uppercase, and then run the queries. The first query returns all 3 rows. Second query, all 3 rows. Third query, all 3 rows. That's pretty cool. Now, I created the entire schema to be case insensitive with that syntax there. The syntax also lets you specify for an individual table, or indeed for an individual column of a table, that table or that column of a table should override the setting for the schema. Now, this is something for which there has been demand in the marketplace for a long time. And in release 12.2, Oracle delivers.